This conference will now be
All
recorded.
right, you're good.
Okay, let's call the regular meeting of Richland City Council to order on May 28th.
And he wears a hat.
Quorum with Jody absent. Pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi. Yeah, I got just a couple additions for you.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Number 4 under new business, approve liquor licenses. Number 5, approve PD computer and docking station purchase. And number 6, approve Cedar Point rent increase.
Can you go down and slide you down? Should be on the bottom.
Anyone else have anything to add?
PD computer and docking station.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Consent agenda items. Approved minutes from last 2 weeks ago, city council meeting. Second. Okay, a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Down to ordinances and resolution. Resolution 21-12.
Should be 24-12. I apologize for that error.
Okay.
So resolution 2412, this is resolution ordering preparation of a report on improvement. So this is basically just ordering a feasibility study to see what the cost would be to do a complete reconstruction from on Ash Avenue South and Broadway Avenue South from Highway 30 to 4th. That would be water, sewer, curb, gutter, everything. So basically what we're doing is looking to authorize the engineers to put together the total cost of the project, find out what it would cost to be billed to each individual homeowner, what it would cost to be billed to water, sewer, what the city's cost would be, what the street department's cost would be, just to see if we are able to afford it and bond it for it and see how that would all play out.
That's what Bolden and they came and talked to us about that night.
That's kind of the plan. And then hopefully that kind of works in with the hydrology study to fix some of this I&I stuff that Shell will be talking about during her report. So that's just the initial steps. There's nothing that cements it in stone that we're going to do these projects or anything like that. This is just to order the draft to figure out how much it's going to cost and where we're going to go and kind of get an idea. So.
Am I able to vote on this because I live in that section?
Absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if it was considered.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 24-12.
Second. Second. Any more discussion or questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Department reports. Care Center?
Evening, folks. I am happy to report for the month of May, or actually for the month of April, in May, that our average census for April was 39.23. That is up from 36.97 in March and 33 in February. Done an amazing job. Everybody's working pretty hard trying to keep the building full. Today, we're at a census of 38, and we have one coming tomorrow. So we'll be at 39 tomorrow. We did have 16 referrals in the month of April, 9 admitted, or 9 accepted, 6 admitted, and 5 denied. We did discharge 6, 4 went home, 1 passed away, and 1 went to a mental health facility in the city. Our financials, our income from operations, we had a positive $32,000 for the month. Steady increase in obvious income. agency staffing was quite large for the month of April as well. For high school students this summer, we should reduce that June, July, and August. So we're very grateful to have our college students and our high school students working all summer. We did have a DHS grant last August, and I want to make some clarifications on that so people understand better when they see things going on at the Care Center. August of '23, we received $200,000 for long-term debt or structural and mechanical improvements to the building. With that money, we have already replaced the PTEC units in all resident rooms. That is the heat and air conditioning units in each room, making it, allowing them to control the temperature in their rooms. We've updated the air handler units in the hallways, which has been working for years. That is clean air coming into the building. We're getting new sidewalks and a patio on the north side of the building. June, when the contractor is available. Patio simply going to be put out there so that when we're watching parades, as we do, we're not sitting on the parade route. We can get people out of the way, make a little more room for floats and trucks and things like that. We're installing an air conditioning unit in the kitchen. That has been put off until sometime in June, as well as a walk-in cooler, which has been put off until June. And new windows in the sunroom, since all of them are original from '87, I think. And they all leak fiercely. That'll be put in July. And then as a result of that, our sewer issue back in December of '22, we're gonna get that sewer line lined, that fell in Waseca, hopefully before the end of August. Again, staffing, our staffing is looking really good now. We've got a solid group of people working for us that are ours. And we got many people working for us that are not. We've been able to entice some of the people that are not ours to come over to the light side and be good people. So we've been doing very well there, but we still need certified nurse aides and RN or LPNs, days, evenings, overnight, and every other weekend. Any questions?
Is there still one more bonus owed to the staff?
Yes,
Okay. When do you pay that?
that'll be the end of June.
Okay. That's for everyone who makes less than $30.
Less than $30 an hour, correct.
For the walk-in cooler and the air conditioning, are those energy efficient where there's rebates that would be coming back for money?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Working with,
Is it Excel and?
let's see, the air conditioner, we're working with Schwickert's. I forget the name of the company with the cooler.
Are the PTACs, are they energy efficient or not?
Yes.
Okay.
What Lauren said about the bonuses, is that money that's gonna be already given to you, or is it
We
something
already
you
have
have to do? Okay. That's what I thought.
It was to be used throughout a 12-month period.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
Have a
you.
motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion second. Any more question? All in favor? Motion passes. People service report, Michelle?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, it's been very busy over there in the plant the month of May. I had a couple gas leaks in the building in April. The system's very old, so the gas that's coming in now is going to pipes that aren't even in operation. So the gas is just flowing through all the old pipes. There's no valves on anything. So, I would like to get the valves on there so we can stop all of this gas from going through the whole building because it's not needed. But I can't get it to shut off because there's no So, which they're very old pipes, so at least if we put a valve on there, it'll stop that extra gas going through. So it's just safety wise, yeah. I wouldn't have known it, but I was cleaning. And yeah, then it was like, oh, wait, big leak. So yeah, I have it stopped for right now, but I don't know how long that'll last. But it's gone through many feet of pipes that we don't even use those pipes, so. Just thinking that they should be valved and shut off permanently. I mean, if you need to open, that's fine, but I think it definitely should be shut off.
Sewer plant, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then for the,
Oh, that's pretty good here.
May, we had 800,000 gallons come in that first week. I did not have to bypass, we kept up, I don't think there was any, sewer backups in town that I know of. Now, the other day, I had to bypass for 2 hours. Town didn't get any, but I did. So I was pumping the big pump, the 20 horses every minute and a half, because it was coming in that fast. But it came in also through the field to the south. It's like a natural waterway through there. Well, it's directly in line with the plant. So it's getting so bad now. Now the fence is really, really bad. It's pushed all the mud, all the corn stalks into everything. And then it went around the trickling filter. So when it did that, it went around, it's never done that. It went around it. It went into the vents of the trickling filter, the air vents, which filled up those pipes, which then went off the landscaping block and went into a control box, filled that up. So that backed me up. You know, that's halfway through my system, probably not even halfway. And so everything was full and I couldn't get caught up. So we can't let that happen because that's not a good enough excuse to bypass. So we definitely need to get that water not going through the plant. It needs to go around into the creek. So it's a mess out there. I did send pictures to Tony. I don't, you know, it's kind of hard to move a natural waterway, but this, between that area and then the street alone, I don't know if any of you guys have been down there on Division. It's still down there, but it all came in from the field and filled up the end of Division. So the whole thing was mud and rock. I don't know who lives at that one house, but it went all the way up into his yard. I mean, it was pushed all the way up. And then the field is
Where
taking
was
out
that?
snow, all the gravel is on the pavement, Division, not all of it.
I'm
A
not
lot
sure
of it's
about
filled with the storm, so the storm's gonna catch up with full of mud and
sewage
gravel.
plant?
So it's just gonna just continue to do that. Once it gets wore down like that, it's not gonna stop. So we do have to think of something, because that storm, that beginning of that storm is just gonna fill up the whole storm with mud, and you have more backups. So I don't know what you can do besides putting in a culvert on that gravel road to catch some of that from going into town. I don't know, but you gotta do something. It was over my tires, so it was pretty deep.
Can we have the county engineer look at it?
I'd do something.
I don't know if it's their issue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think maybe just Shell and me and Eric, and maybe we'll bring Luke Doverstein over there and
Yeah.
see if we can figure out some sort of plan to try to figure it out.
How much land do we have around the
Not
fence?
a lot.
Yeah, it isn't a whole lot to deal with.
How come this doesn't ever happen before?
Well,
It's just been gradually getting worse and worse and
More
worse.
washout you have.
Every year it washes out a little worse, and then every year, you know, the farmer takes a little more, takes a little more, takes a little more, and just, you know.
And Brad did put, years ago, had put long, hoses out there along the fence to try to stop it, and he had stakes but it's over top of them now. I mean, the dirt just keeps moving, so, but we definitely cannot have it.
We do have some money, we do have a little bit of money from our claim from from when the fence was moved from the league to re-slope some of that anyway, so. We'll look into it.
Yeah. So, yeah, bypass lasted 2 hours, took all the necessary samples, called the compliance officer, duty officer, did all that. So, I did send an email for the sump pumps to see if you could add that to the bill, a
Yeah.
reminder. No sump pump to the sewer, please. And then, oh, you know, and I don't think it would be a bad idea to put in the water bill a small thing about night valves, gate valves for everyone's sewers. I mean, like what you have. They're very good ideas and new when you're there.
You would have to.
But they do work, and most towns will generally have these, you know, especially in newer construction. But people might not know that you can do that, you know, you can install them. Yeah, they have to pay for it, but.
I'm done with the watermelon stuff now, honey.
Sewer out, so, I don't know, it wouldn't hurt to let them know, give them a little information on it. Otherwise, yeah, just trying to keep up with this water. Just for example, in March, we had 2.8 million gallons that came in with 2.39 inches of rain. April, I had 6 inches of rain, and I had 5 million gallons that came through that plant. Now, this month already, I haven't even added it up yet, but you can definitely tell when it rains, this I&I issue. And this time it didn't help because it came from the field into the plant itself, so. We'll just see how that, maybe we'll get the rest of the year will be dry, maybe. Maybe,
One can hope.
so, yeah, we'll just do our best, I guess, and see what we can do. Unless you guys have any other ideas or anything. Okay.
Okay, any other questions for her?
No. Do you need us to do a motion or get a bid on for the valves or
We'll contact somebody and get a quote
get
before we
some
need.
quotes before we go?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. To approve. I'll second. Okay,
Thanks, guys.
yeah. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Okay, street maintenance report.
Ryan's not here. He's actually spraying for mosquitoes tonight. So they came out in droves this weekend, apparently, for some crazy reason. But 30 blue cards, 2 shutoffs, worked on Legion Field, City Shop, Library, Water Plant. Finished 6th Street water main break on 6th Street. Had to replace some stuff. New flow meters on. Legion Field, St. Olaf Lake are all up and running. DSG came and helped us fix the hydrant that was the guy that was cleaning out the trees on 7th Street there backed into our hydrant and knocked the top off, so that got fixed up. We sending him a bill for that. Citywide cleanup was great. 65 people came through, which is significantly lower than what we've had, but Eric said it was one of the most smooth cleanups that they've ever had. Dallas Loken came and cleaned up the dump. It was half the price that we had discussed, so that's great. Braden put new mulch around the trees. Yeah, dumps will back open again. Yep. Eric did buy some new signage too. We're going to try to sign it a little bit better so that you can see where grass and clippings go and where sticks and branches go, just a little more organized off out there. So did also have a water blowout on the west side of the school. Actually, they're mowing lawn and their lawnmower fell into a hole. But long story short, the catch basin seal had kind of blown out and some water was washing away the dirt that was there. So we filled that back up. They're hoping to paint the bleachers at Legion Field, paint the crosswalks, get the ropes out at the St. Olaf Lake, get stuff ready for Farm City Days, and all that kind of good stuff. he is looking for a recommendation to approve Pearson Brothers seal coating for $33,995.43. And I do have so it would be South Balsam, South Cedar, First Street Northwest, and Northwest Second Street, and then North Cedar, North Ash, Northwest Third Street, and North Ash. Those streets for a total of $333,995.40.
Okay.
40. Is that right? Yep.
Okay. We have a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion for the Peterson Brothers, 33,145.
Second. Okay, motion and second. Any more questions for Tony? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and then we also need to have approved, as part of that water main break, they need to replace the rollover curb on Cedar Point and 6th. And that is a 15-foot by 32-inch section of rollover curb on Cedar Point, John Hall Peter for $1,585.
There's rollover curbs from other places. Why they didn't do it.
I'll make a motion for 1585 for that.
Second. Okay, we have motion and second. Any more discussion?
All right, I'm gonna check our stage four.
Okay, and then I did want to give you an update on a lead line program. So as we all know, the state of Minnesota is being wonderful and auditing all the lead lines. We have been lucky because when we did our replacement of all our meters in town, we documented basically everything inside. So that we basically got we basically had somebody in every home in town documenting what was in the houses. Braden's got that all put together in a spreadsheet. As part of that, we are working with Bolton and Mink, who got a $75,000 grant from the city, got a $75,000 grant from the state that Bolton and Mink is facilitating for us. As part of that grant, they would like to combine our information and their information into this ArcGIS system. They cannot purchase it for us. We have to purchase it. And then, long story short, we pay for it. They submit for reimbursement on the grant through them, and then they cut us back a check. So the ArcGIS system is $1,247. So I need approval for that. And that will be compensated back through that $75,000 grant.
I'll make a motion for the $1,247 for GIS expenditure.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any more questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
As part of this process,
Yeah.
you're going to be very excited.
Go ahead.
As part of this process, so there's 2 parts of this process. The state needs to know what is in the house, and then since we own from the service line to the pipe, we have to know what our line is from the service line to the pipe. Well, there's the only 2 ways to do that is to look at either the as-built or to dig down to the pipe and find out what it is. So Corey, from our engineer from Bolton and Mink, took all of our as-built and is scanning them into PDF files for us. So he took every single one of our huge rolled up as-built, and as part of this $75,000 grant is scanning them all into PDFs and using all the information to find out what materials were part of each street project to document this information. But then on the flip side of this, we'll have a PDF of every single one of our as-built and scans that with this new, and I should show you this too, this, we now have diamond maps, and the boys actually have this in the car. So now the boys have this in their we came across some cheap tablets. So now the boys have this information all in their cars. And so now all this information that we did with like these valves that were replaced, they have all this in their vehicle. Now all these as-built that are scanned in, we'll be able to link these PDFs with every single one of these street projects in here. And now as they're going to service any address, just as Shell does with wastewater, they are documenting everything that they're doing per location in this diamond map system. So it's going to be a pretty significant deal. So now instead of them having to come back here or go back to the office, all this information is in their car all the time. Yeah, I mean, we can go to layers and they've actually put in fire hydrants, water wells, water lines, pump stations, water storage, sirens, addresses. They've gone through and added all these things. It's a great deal, and it costs us a whopping $400 a year. So it's just
It's a great system.
it's phenomenal, and the time that they can be in their truck and have all that information accessible to them at all times is phenomenal. So, and that's why the cool thing about the guy that exercised all those valves, they're all listed on here. Everything's on there, all the valves that he exercised. It tells GPS, everything. It's so, yeah, it's awesome.
So with Bolton doing this project for us,
So what the hell did you tell us?
that we received
How did you tell?
covers their
Yeah.
staff
It's
course.
awesome. It's phenomenal. It's awesome.
I told him the council does not authorize anything above and beyond any of the grant hours that is taking place.
Yeah, because if the
So,
grant doesn't cover it, they will not
No,
get paid for it.
correct.
They're understanding
yes, no, Corey is well aware of that
Okay.
conversation.
that. I just
Yes.
wanted to check because
Yes.
I've heard,
He was way excited. He was more excited about the stuff than we were. So,
yeah.
but yeah, so that's where we're at with that. The only thing is that since Bolton and Manx doing it, we have one less month to do it than if we're doing it by ourselves. So they have to do it. Yeah, it has to be done by July. So,
I was the impression the grant money couldn't be used for staffing.
no, well, maybe he's aware of what it all has to take care of. So, I just want to make sure that Eric didn't send me one other thing because he's not
What do
here.
you
I think that is all I have for Eric.
Will they have it done by the deadline in July
They will have all the information needed for
to submit to the state?
yes. And so the only thing that is coming under the grant is the as-built for the street pipe systems. All the other stuff, I think he's doing for fun.
What do you got, Greg?
Well, he is trying to build a relationship with our community, and he's done a very good job doing so. And he knows that there's potentially significantly huge projects that are coming up. So it's a good thing. But so that that should be all I think for street.
Okay. I move to accept the maintenance. Okay, any more questions for Tony? All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
You're in charge of that first.
Thank you, Tony. On to unfinished business, approved March.
Yep. So you should have your final check register for March.
Let's get in there. Guess if you don't like it around, it's fine.
The edges. Here.
No, I know, but what about the middle? Whatever, take it out.
So what happens is if we get a return check, the bank debits our account for that fee, and so then we just have to run it through as an NSF. So it
eventually gets paid back.
yeah, it's the only way that we can account for it is we have to debit our account.
I don't know if I put in this sausage.
Any other questions or concerns for March? We have a motion to approve. I'll make a motion to approve that March. Motion and a second.
Well, pick it up and wait.
Motion passes. Now on to March 2024 financials. questions or concerns for Tony?
Done.
Almost halfway through the year, Tony, are there any budget line items that are getting a little?
We're way over budget on the water plant stuff, but that's all ARPA funds that have been spent. And I can just kind of show you. I can just show you that's kind of the breakdown of where we're at for ARPA stuff.
Okay.
I mean, so that's so what you're gonna see is that we're way over budget, but this is gonna all be credited back through. It's just that
You have to wait.
Can't do it right.
So basically everything we're over budget for is there.
When will transfer over?
Not until they do the audit at the end of the year.
We have a motion to approve the March financials.
I so move that.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Now on to the April.
And that's in the paper copies in front of you. And I didn't look real close. I just realized that when Heather was entering stuff, instead of putting the description, she wrote operating expense instead of what was there. So we have to talk about that. But so.
Okay.
Hit cancel.
Final number in, that you were from PSN.
PSN?
Yeah, it was, so for some reason, we had a deposit, but then one of the checks or one of the credit cards was declined, but it still came through as a full deposit to our bank.
First,
Do you ever have that happen on your, well, you probably don't see that. So we had there was $190 payment that was declined, but the full amount, including the $190 that was declined, came through in our deposit. So in order to the bank rec showed $190 less than what was actually deposited. So
Just because of, or the timing of their periods?
I don't know, is a mess.
Do they not, well, I guess it doesn't matter because we don't. use
We're
it
done
anymore.
with PSN, yeah.
But didn't they send notifications of when NSFs come through? Like an
They
email?
don't, no.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
they did to us always.
No, but it's like you said, it's no longer an issue anymore because we're done with it. But yeah, so it took a long time to figure out and the other thing was, it was two separate deposits. So one deposit was like, it was $6,000 some odd dollars, but it was actually two different deposits that added up to that 6,000. Plus there was a $190 that was missing. So PSN always breaks up their deposits really weird. And so it was just a mess, but we're good now.
With the news company, do they notify you if they have an NSF so you can get it on the account sooner?
I believe so.
Okay.
We haven't had anything NSF through them yet. I've been watching it pretty close.
Okay.
So.
You have a question for Tony? We have a motion to approve the check register for April.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Now the April 24, 2024 financials. Anything stand out to anyone?
No, I didn't.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the April financials.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, down to number 5, classification and compensation study, final presentation. That's the one you sent us, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you show us that earlier last month?
Yep, this is just, but what you wanted to see was based on what was left in the year and when stuff would go, how stuff would go. So what I basically did was I figured out when people's anniversary dates were, thinking that the council would plan to move them onto the scale at their anniversary date. And then what I did was I calculated out their current salaries and then how much it would cost once they got moved onto the other plan. And then based on what the hours they worked and then how much it would have for an impact on the actual budget. So for the administration budget, it's obviously not an issue at all. Heather's significantly less paid than Sarah Jo was, so there's no net budget impact at all. Even for the police department, I had already budgeted, expecting to potentially have a higher wage for the police department. So there's no impact for the police department either. The only actual net budget problem is $1,000 on the maintenance side, and that's not taking into consideration that you guys are paying $500 a month out of professional services. So, and that is going back to back pay, Eric, to 3/8 of 2024, which would have been the first pay period, first full pay period after you guys told him that you were going to compensate him for.
Because that was going back to when he got his certification in January.
Correct. That would have been the first full pay period back there. And then I just assumed that after that, it would be the same for me after my successful review would be the first full pay period after that. So the 419. And then Heather would be her 6 months would be 1018. Braden's would be his annual would be 823. Tenise's would be 10-4. Drew would be 823. And then I would just plan that once Drew, the full-time officer, goes to step 1, then the part-time would sync with him on that date as well. Now, obviously, I didn't even think about this until I got an email from LELS, but this obviously has to be, I mean, we can still, you guys can still approve this and we can move forward with this. We just have to get a memorandum of understanding from LELS, and I'm sure they'll be okay with it, but we will have to get approval from them as well. So long story short, if you approve this, what'll happen is that our pay scale will knock off the first 4 steps. The new step 1 will become step 5. And then from here on out, Eric will get pay back to March 8th. Myself from 419 going forward, and then everybody else on the anniversary date. And then I'll reach out to LELS and create a memorandum of understanding with them. And then what kind of do we can just move.
How do you go from a step 1 to a step 5?
Old step 5 is going to be the new step 1, correct?
Correct.
So like looking at yours, this would be step 1, right?
Yes.
Moving that way. And then
here, I can go back. I can go back to
step 4 for you.
Well, right. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, so basically that'd be the next step, the next first step above. You know what I'm saying?
No, sorry.
So this is where I'm at currently.
Yep.
So this will be the next step above.
Okay. Because aren't we shifting that all over though? So the 40-30 or the column zone for pay rate 5, that's getting shifted over, correct, to step 1, and then you go to step 4. Is that right?
So what happened here is that actually what happened here is that this my line actually decreased in salary.
Okay.
So this 40-30 became 37.65.
Okay.
That decreased.
Got it. Okay.
So basically, wherever you're at on here, when you move to the new CL, you'll be going to the, whatever the step is nearest above, the next
The
step.
next step up. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was thinking you'd be at, okay. I get it now.
So it'll be the same for everybody else. They would just move to the next step. So.
No, do it, everybody did it. So,
You good?
I'm,
Well, I got another question.
nope, I'm just looking.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that, spreadsheet for all the step increase. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any more questions? All
I
in
don't think
favor?
they agreed.
Aye. Motion passes.
pretty good.
Stand. I mean, she didn't,
On
she
to new
didn't jump to
business.
pass it.
Lifeguard hiring and compensation.
All right, so we have 3 lifeguards for this year, which is about the bare minimum that we can go get by with. We really would like to have one more, so if there's anybody from last year or there's any other families that are interested or know somebody that would be, we are interested in looking. 15, I think. Lifeguard is a 15? I think it's 15. Yeah. So Mallory Schlinger will be our head guard. She's in her 3rd year. She does an amazing job.
Well,
Council in the
clean up
past
better
has
for the
authorized
investors.
25-cent increase as a what's the word I'm looking for? Longevity increase. So I kind of worked that in. So my recommendation to staff or recommendation to the council is to approve. Mallory Schlinger is the head lifeguard, 1525. Aspen Senzel, 2nd year, 1225, and Sierra Miskin at 1225, 2nd year.
We can just approve them all.
Yep,
Oh,
one motion. Yep.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this year's salaries for all 3.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I do have a question. So are they only lifeguarding during swimming lessons?
Correct.
So how long do swimming lessons run for? Is it all summer? Is there different stages?
There's 3 sections of swimming lessons, and I don't have them. The thing is out there, but there's just 3 chunks, 2 weeks at a time.
And with the,
Two sessions that are like noon to like 5, and then 1 session that's like evening hours.
with the Green Lake,
We'll
is
be
that gonna be affecting any lessons?
we're hoping that it's all gone.
You were saying that it has to run its life.
Yeah.
When's that life done?
Eric was told he's hopeful that it'll be 2 to 3 weeks tops.
Oh.
So
Okay, we have a motion to approve lifeguards.
you already have a
Do we?
Janda
yeah,
and
all right,
Ryan.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Sorry about that. NRPD union negotiations.
Okay, the union contract set to expire 12/31/2024. The request to begin negotiations. In the past, council has had the city administrator bargain on behalf of the council. Staff requests council direction for the upcoming session. If you want me to do as that in the past, or if somebody else wants to be a part of that, I'll take direction from the council.
Nope.
Otherwise, we'll just, if you want me to, huh?
What does it usually entail?
Usually the last time that it happened, myself and the union met and they kind of just said, this is what we're looking for. And then I kind of told him where I kind of assumed the council would be. And then I came back to you guys and we had a closed session, discussed where we thought we'd be comfortable. And then I kind of went back to them. So if you're comfortable with that, I don't need a motion or anything, but then we'll just kind of plan to do that.
That's good. Okay, ordinance 205.01, Office of City Administrator.
So this is just cleaning up some language that we've never had. We have a clerk treasurer language. We've never had the city administrator language. So this is just something I want to clean up in the ordinance, and basically it just says that if anything in our ordinance says clerk or clerk treasurer or city, it all just is covered by the city administrator. So I would like a motion to schedule the first reading for June 10th and a public hearing for June 24th, and that can be one
Wants to
motion.
change anything that says city clerk to city administrator in some ordinance.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Now down to number 4, liquor license.
I just got liquor licenses for the Willows and the New Richland Liquor Company from the state of Minnesota that need to be renewed. They need to be sent in the mail before the end of the month so that they are done by the 30th. So I just need approval. There's really nothing.
Approval that we accept them?
Yeah, just to renew them. There's no, they're the same liquor license have been renewed over and over and over again, and there's nothing crazy about them. So I just need council approval.
There hasn't been any complaints?
Nope, the police chief reviewed both for violations and everything's clear, so just need council approval.
I move to renew the liquor licenses for the Willows and the New Richland Liquor.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Purchases?
Yeah, so as part of, yeah, for the PD. Yep.
Yeah.
So the police department would like to purchase the new computer for their other squad car. As you know, they got a grant from the New Richland Area Foundation. I believe it was for $1,000. So what they'd like to do is buy a computer and a docking station. The one that they have now is awful. The docking station, they're trying to match all their equipment to the sheriff's office, so there's ever problems, everything is working together. So this is the docking station that the computer just flops into and just works together. So long story short, it's roughly about $5,000 for the docking station and the computer. And I'll just kind of show you. So this is the ERS funds that were issued. If we break them down, it's almost 18,000 per department. If you look at the police department, they spent 2,880 so far on the radar. So they still got about 15,000 left, and that's where they'd like to pull that money out of. So they're looking for approval of up to about $5,000 for the computer.
So you're talking about the ES funds,
Yep.
correct? So
Yep.
I'm showing PD used 15,047.
No, that's what they have remaining.
Well, that's their meeting. Okay.
Yep. So they'd like to authorize that purchase.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the computer and docking station. I'll make a motion to approve. 15,000 maybe?
No, up to 5,000.
Okay, we have a second? Second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Cedar Point rent increase.
So Cedar Point has to notify by June 1st for rent increase. Rent is currently $775. Today the EDA authorized a rent increase of $25 to make it $800. We're still well under the requirements for affordable housing. So the council does also need to approve that rent increase.
We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to raise the rent to 800.
We have a second? Second. Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, miscellaneous. Anything from council? Tony? Okay, administrators report.
As I said previously, cleanup day went very well. Thank you to those that were there and helped. PSN ended on May 12th. All payments are coming through Paya, and it's been going really well. Attended leadership growth group in Wabasha. It was a very a very good day. Both, I think we met with the street improvements. I think we've got a really good solid plan. I'm really hoping that we can make it work. We met with NRHG schools regarding the parking lot improvements. That's kind of part of that whole project, trying to get that all worked in together. Worked with David Ground on this classification compensation study. You asked about the solar refund from Xcel Energy. It was just a hair over $20,000 we got back for the solar part of that. I'm currently monitoring the EMS service aid package to rural EMS. Minnesota allocated about $24 million towards rural EMS for, I don't know if they know what exactly it's for yet, but I'm going to watch that to see if we're available for any grant funding or anything like that. So we have a hydrology study meeting scheduled for tomorrow to go over more in depth some plans that they've discussed for carrying water through town. The majority of the plans are deepening and widening the creek. The plans that were discussed with rerouting some of the stuff around town, according to their computer modeling, really does not help. So hopefully I'll get some more information for the next meeting on those. Some anniversary Sarah Sunday, 10 years in the ambulance. And then Sierra Michigan and Aspen Stenzel, 2 years for St. Olaf Lake. And then just a quick note, I will not be here at the next meeting. I'll be running the meeting. I will be in Canada. So, hey.
Hey.
I know when he says.
Well, I got.
What is the school planning on the parking lot? Do you really know? Or?
They'll be starting this summer. They are doing a complete. They're getting rid of everything, doing a complete resurface, repainting, relining, doing everything. It'll be just beautiful. And they're extending everything into that area that they bought. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that'll be our discussion on the road that we do, is if we're gonna do that or not. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that'll be a thing or not. So.
We have a motion to approve the administrator's report.
I'll second it.
Any more questions for Tony? Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Any other comment? Motion to adjourn? I vote to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion, meeting is adjourned at 7:35.
7.